Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to have you all back in the classroom, and I'm excited to be here with you. I know it's been a crazy year so far, so we're going to be going over today how to manage and adapt. And I know we probably don't know exactly what that means yet, but we're going to be talking. You guys see those little things around on the screen? What are those? Emojis, right? We're going to be talking about emojis and those things that they look like they're feeling all the time, emotions, feelings. So we're looking at managing and adapting for those feelings we have. So to start off, again, I'm Mrs. Hill, the school counselor. I know I've met a few of you already. I haven't gotten to meet every student here. I think we have some new faces. So I just wanted to introduce myself really quick. Does anyone here remember what a school counselor is? Right, yeah, a school counselor is the person that's here in the building, and we're here to help you. Your teachers, your principals, they're all here to help you too. But the school counselor is someone you would see if you're experiencing maybe some problems in your personal life, or if you're having issues staying focused in school for whatever reason, and you might need to talk to somebody. I'm the person you're gonna come talk to. So maybe sometimes you come find me on your own. Maybe sometimes your teacher recommends that you come talk to me. Whatever it is, it means that, you know, you have people that care in your life and they're looking to make sure that you get the help you need. So the next question I have for you is, what day is it? Because I have no idea. I am so, all over the place. I don't even know what day it is. It's Thursday, right? Right, Thursday. So what's Thursday mean? I think there's only one day left in the week. That's what that means. So tomorrow's Friday, which means I'm really excited because then it's the weekend. So that's pretty great news. Awesome, guys. So the first question that I want to ask you, I'm going to ask you two questions. We're going to do 1 and 2 right now, and then we're going to ask questions again at the end. So the first question, I want you guys to just listen closely. Alicia has been getting frustrated with her homework and threw the last 3 worksheets in the garbage because she just doesn't feel like trying to figure out the answers. What could Alicia do to try to calm herself down when she feels frustrated? Who thinks it's A, use deep breathing to find a calm place in her mind? Teacher, there's nothing that will help. C, make up all of the answers, even if they're wrong. Or D, say that her dog ate her homework. Raise your hand if you think it's A. Okay, raise your hand if you think it's B. Raise your hand if you think it's C. And raise your hand if you think it's D. Awesome, okay. The next question, Mickey Mouse has to go to the dentist, but he's so nervous. Every time Mickey goes, he starts to shake and his heart beats extra fast. His friend Pluto sat in the waiting room with Mickey and told him to close his eyes and take 5 deep breaths in and out. When Mickey opened his eyes, he realized he was comfortable in his chair and his heartbeat was normal. How was Mickey feeling after he took his deep breaths? A, scared, B, calm, C, excited, or D, upset? Raise your hand if you think it's A, scared. Raise your hand if you think it's B, calm. C, excited, or D, upset? Perfect, thank you guys. So we just saw that there were 2 characters there and they were in each question and they were both feeling really different things, right? So sometimes things happen that make us feel all different types of emotions, and that is normal. Is it okay to feel angry sometimes? Right, yes, it is okay to feel angry sometimes. Sometimes we're gonna feel sad, sometimes we're gonna feel really happy. Maybe we might feel scared sometimes, but we all are going to experience different feelings, different emotions. And so I want you to think about this. Don't say it out loud just yet, but just think about how you are feeling right this very second. Don't say anything out loud. Just think about how you're feeling right this very second. So can someone tell me which emoji emotion are you feeling today? Yeah, you recognize these guys, right? We have happy, excited, confident, worried, sad, confused, bored, annoyed, angry. So who wants to share? Which emoji emotion are you feeling today? We have a happy. That's good. We have a confused. Maybe we can help with that. I think further on in the lesson, maybe we can help you not be so confused. We have a sad. We have an annoyed. Are you guys listening to what your classmates are saying? They're all feeling different emotions, right? Sometimes it's hard to tell what people are feeling. So let's think about what someone might look like if we thought they were angry. What might an angry person look like? Their face might be a little scrunched up and they might have a frown, right? And they might feel hot, like their body temperature is rising because they're angry. They're not excited. Their eyes get really big. Someone's excited. Maybe they're jumping. Maybe they're smiling. Sometimes people get excited if they're, or sometimes people get nervous if they're excited. They might, I don't know, shake or something. What about if they're sad? Maybe their voice gets really low. Yeah, they might cry. What about scared? Someone's scared. I know I'm afraid of spiders, and if I'm scared that there's a spider around, get really still. My heart beats really fast. I don't look so good, huh? I don't feel safe if I'm scared. So what we're gonna do next is a little activity for you guys, and it's gonna help everyone learn how to calm themselves down when they might be feeling bad, sad, angry, scared, anything you might not want to be feeling, any type of those negative feelings. If you're upset at all and you're trying to, get back to a place where you can focus again, where you can feel a little bit better again. This is what this activity is going to help you guys do, but it's also a pretty cool activity because you get to transport to a place that's different than this classroom. All while using your mind. But you do need two things. So one, I just said it, you need your imagination, so you need your brain power. And two, you're going to need to take calm, deep breaths. So let's practice that calm, deep breaths. Breathe in and count to 1, 2, 3. Listen to me. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think you guys got it. So, you guys ready for the activity? I thought so. Okay, so first, I'm gonna have you all think about a happy place. Happy thoughts, happy places, okay? So I'm gonna have you think about a happy place. And to do that, to get you to that happy place, I'm gonna have you do two things. One, close your eyes, okay? Everybody close their eyes and sit relaxed in their chair. Heads up, shoulders straight, but you're relaxed in your chair. And you're going to start breathing calmly and deeply. Remember how we just talked about, so breathe in, 1, 2, 3. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so everyone keep breathing. And now I want you quietly think to yourself about your favorite place. Anywhere you want to be. Maybe you saw it in a picture. Maybe you've been there before. Is it the beach? Is it a candy store? Is it the playground? Maybe it's recess. Think about a really fun place or one of your favorite places to be. Keep breathing. Keep those deep breaths. And now think about how the weather is. Is it warm? Is it cold? What about what you smell? Do you smell food? Do you smell flowers? Do you taste anything? Maybe it tastes like pool water. Maybe you're tasting a treat. What about what you hear? Do you hear anybody talking or laughing? Do you hear any animals? Keep breathing nice and slow. Think about the colors you see. Look at all those colors. Maybe there's a blue sky, green grass, or white snow. Now just stay there for a little bit. Take 2 more deep breaths. Ready? In, 1, 2, 3, and out, 1, 2, 3. And in, 1, 2, 3, and out, 1, 2, 3. Okay. How do you guys feel? Yeah, kind of relaxed, huh? Might be like nap time now, huh? Yeah. Feel a little better. Right. So that was a way for you guys to really, some of us said we weren't feeling good. We might have felt sad or angry. And that was a way for you to just leave where you're at for 1 second and go somewhere else. Go to your happy place. And you did that by, just using your imagination and taking some nice, calm, deep breaths. You guys remember how to do that? I think it'd be really cool for you to show, your parents or friends how to do that. Yeah, you guys could teach other people how to do that because that's a really cool thing to do. So I want to go back and let's do the first question we did at the beginning again. Alicia's been getting frustrated with her homework and threw the last 3 worksheets in the garbage because she just doesn't feel like trying to figure out the answers. What could Alicia do to try to calm herself down when she feels frustrated? How many think it's A, use deep breathing to find a calm place in her mind? How many think it's B, tell her teacher there's nothing that will help? How many think it's C? How many think it's D? And question 2, Mickey Mouse has to go to the dentist, but he's so nervous. Every time Mickey goes, he starts to shake and his heart beats extra fast. His friend Pluto sat in the waiting room with Mickey and told him to close his eyes, take 5 deep breaths in and out. When Mickey opened his eyes, he realized he was comfortable in his chair and his heartbeat was normal. How was Mickey feeling after he took deep breaths? A, scared, B, calm, C, excited, or D, upset? Great job, guys. I just thank you so much again for participating and being, just so smart. You guys are really great, and you're doing a really good job today. So I know that you're going to be good for your teachers, But please always remember to be kind and respectful to others because we might never know what someone else is feeling. And look out for those emojis. You know, people might be using emojis to try to tell you something. So now that we know what those mean, that's what we can look for. All right, guys, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. The next portion of this is the school counselor presentation. And I am presenting this to other school counselors, and this is based on that classroom guidance lesson that we just went through for elementary students. The populations I specifically did was for first grade, but we're demonstrating effective coping skills and showing how to manage transitions and adapt to changes that may be needed to work through the bereavement process and other challenging life occurrences. And the topic of this whole lesson specifically is bereavement, but you don't want to bring that term up in a classroom guidance lesson. And I'm going to dive into that a little bit more, but for the most part, we're looking at those effective coping skills and managing transitions and adapting to change. And the standards that we're using, one ASCA standard is to demonstrate effective coping skills. The other is to demonstrate ability to manage transitions and adapt to change. And that goes along with our first objective, which is that students will identify effective coping skills to help with adjusting to changes and managing transitions. And then the language arts standards for South Carolina, it's to read or listen closely to describe characters' actions or feelings. And so our second objective is that students will identify a feeling or action based on what they hear or read. The lesson plan, this is kind of adaptable depending on, you know, what your population is, but overall, it's a pretty easy plan to follow. The first thing that we started with was the intro to school counselor role, and that's just a gentle reminder to the students who you are and when they may need or want to come see you. If you're in a large school district, it might be hard to see as many students as you hoped to see at the beginning of the year, but having that little slide in your lesson plans is just a nice way to remind them. Especially if there's new students too, because they may not have seen everything that you were in previously with other students. And then it also seems really simple, but the stating the day of the week slide is an easy way to introduce your first feeling word. So like for Thursday, I said, we're only one day away from Friday and I'm really excited on Fridays because that means it's the weekend. And I express that, you know, in an excited manner. And that's just kind of easing into the topic. And then you're going to ask your pre-test questions. So the first one was to see how many students can identify an effective coping skill that would help with managing transitions. And then they were looking to see how many students can identify an appropriate feeling that a character's experience based on what's read in the text. That was for the English language arts standard. And both of those questions are asked to the class as a whole. You can't ask individually on a spreadsheet if you're in person, but if you're asking as a whole too, you can just record the numbers of the answers that you're getting. And then that way you can kind of compare at the end with what the post-test questions reveal and see if there's any improvement there. But both of those questions had characters that were experiencing different emotions, and that's kind of what I brought up as the introduction to the topic, to kind of tell what someone might be feeling and knowing the difference of what they might be experiencing. So you're starting to have students think about what they're feeling right there in that moment. And then on the next slide, you're discussing, you know, the emoji emotions and relating those to different experiences. And this is where I'm saying the bereavement, while it's the key topic, the focus of this lesson is to show that everyone will experience negative emotions and feelings at some point, not always for the same thing. But the important thing is to know how to overcome them so that you can continue growing and continue with healthy development. And it's recommended, sorry, it's not recommended, but I use those emojis with this type of topic. I know it can be a little bit heavy, but emojis are something that kids have already probably seen in a million places because they're so technology driven now. That's something that makes it easily relatable to them. And then once emotions have been identified, you're going to the next slide again to have them make faces and gestures for different types of emotions. And that will really keep them engaged about the topic. And then the visualization activity we did, it was from positivepsychology.com. It's a worksheet that really was for individual practice, but you can use it for any type of lessons that you're doing, whether it's group work, individual classroom guidance, and it shows the deep breathing and sensory imaging in a calming manner that would help them when they're experiencing negative emotions. And then you have them all go through the process of doing that activity so they get the individual experience of it, but they still are in that classroom setting, so you can work with, you know, a larger number of students at that time. And then after, you just talk about the exercise and express how you feel after doing it, reflect on how that exercise might help at times when students might be, you know, upset, feeling all of those negative emotions, might be frustrated, sad, or mad. And then go ahead and ask your post-test questions at the end, looking for differences in the results that you're getting. And that's going to be used for determining whether or not that was an effective lesson plan and if you got your point across. Hopefully you did. And then the population again for this group was for first grade. And because of their age, the use of bright colors, fun characters, fun themes, those are really stimulating to this group of students. The topic of coping skills and being able to manage transitions and change, it's important, and it can be a little challenging to take on it for students that are that young, but it can be presented in a way that they're able to understand it. So like I said, connecting the feeling words with the emojis, you're helping them to make the connections to something they most likely have already been introduced to through technology. And this will also allow them to view emojis that they might see someone using, and then it's going to make them consider how that person might be feeling now. So you're getting them to think a little bit more deeply, even just by using cartoon characters like that. The presentation has multiple opportunities to engage directly with students and to keep them involved in the lesson, so that will keep them focused on the content and the material. And then this lesson is being presented to first graders, but it can easily be adapted to any K-5 classroom. It's beneficial for anyone in the classroom, regardless of culture, background, ethnicity, gender. Mainly from childhood to adulthood, we're all going to experience times when our emotions overwhelm us. And learning the coping and intervention skills in this lesson can be used throughout your life. It doesn't matter what age group or developmental level you're on. You're developing healthy ways of overcoming obstacles and challenges. It is important, though, to consider the diversities within your school and classrooms, because some students are definitely going to experience more challenges than others. Families, for instance, families that are from low socioeconomic status, they might not have the same resources as other families, which might be resulting in a more stressful home life for students. So like if medical care and financial stability is limited, they might be experiencing multiple life changes and negative feelings if illness and death become common. So knowing the individual students in your classrooms will be really useful, because then you can determine if maybe this has to extend outside the classroom. Maybe this is something you want to bring up in a small group for certain students. And then the whole reason that we're introducing this lesson is because there was a determined area of need in our school. And we're really looking to make sure that our students' needs are being met. And is this contributing to what the goal of the school counseling program is? The one data source that we used was the performance rates for English language arts, which was, it left a 59.9% need of improvement, which is a pretty huge gap. And then there were three domains of school engagement. One was cognitive, one was behavioral, and one was emotional engagement. And all of those areas had over a 30% need for improvement. So those are really what I looked at to target how to plan out this lesson. And then the second data source that I found was an article from 2018 that showed the effects of bereavement on children and correlated those changes in behavior due to their experiences with bereavement and loss. And the source went on to state that children experiencing loss of a loved one has been known to develop challenging emotions and behaviors that will show up in home and academic environments. So with a need to improve the student performance and engagement variables, and then considering recent events with COVID-19 and everything that's been going on in the world, it's really important to consider the idea that bereavement plays a role with those mentioned, and the use of data and assessments are going to allow us to see if this lesson and approach can assist in closing those gaps. So hopefully that makes the lesson plan a little bit clearer and sums up everything and the reason for presenting that classroom guidance lesson in the first place. But thank you all for listening and have a great rest of your day.